والسادة الأفاضل، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يطيب لي أن أرحب بكم في هذه الجلسة المشتركة بين ممثلي التعليم العالي في العراق والأخوة والأخوات رؤساء الجامعات البريطانية الحاضرين في هذه الجلسة من أجل توثيق العلاقة بين جامعاتنا العراقية والبريطانية.
I would like to thank you very much for coming today to meet with us, and this is a great opportunity for the Iraqi higher education sector and the British higher education sector to meet and discuss and agree on what can be beneficial for both sides.
فالعلاقات بين الطلبة المبتعثين العراقيين إلى الجامعات البريطانية لم تكن بظاهرة جديدة، وإنما العلاقات بين هذه الجامعات والطلبة العراقيين كانت ولا زالت هي قديمة وحاضرة، وباعتقادي بأن المستقبل سيكون حافل أيضا بأعداد متزايدة من الطلاب الدارسين في هذه الجامعات.
For Iraqi students who are studying in the UK, this is not a new phenomenon, but it has a history between Iraq and Britain, and we expect the future to send more students to Britain.
فبدايات تأسيس الجامعة العراقية أو كلياتها قبل أن تكون على شكل جامعة كانت على يد النظام التعليمي الجامعي البريطاني.
The Iraqi higher education sector started first by the hands of the UK higher education some time ago.
ومنذ ذلك التاريخ كانت العلاقة على مستوى التعليم العالي مع الجامعات البريطانية وثيقة.
And since then, the relationship between the Iraqi higher education and the British higher education was so strong.
في يومنا الحاضر العديد من طلبتنا المبتعثين هم يدرسون في جامعات مختلفة من العالم: الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، ألمانيا، فرنسا، إيطاليا، روسيا، وكذلك دول أخرى آسيوية، ولكن الأكثر عددا هم الدارسين في الجامعات البريطانية.
Nowadays, the numbers of Iraqi scholars who are studying outside Iraq are in various countries like America, France, Germany, and others. At the same time, now the largest number of Iraqi students studying outside is in Britain.
لذلك يهمنا جدا أن تكون العلاقة بين الجامعات البريطانية والجامعات العراقية مباشرة ووثيقة.
That's why we would like to have the relationship between the Iraqi universities and the British universities direct and strong.
ورؤساء جامعاتنا اليوم يتمتعون بصلاحية التوقيع على أي مذكرة تفاهم يمكن من خلالها تفعيل هذه العلاقة التعليمية.
And to enable this, we granted the presidents of Iraqi universities the privilege to sign directly any memorandum of understanding or any sort of agreement directly with the British universities.
سواء ما يتعلق بتيسير أمور قبول الطلاب العراقيين في هذه الجامعات،
such as in admissions for postgraduates and undergraduates in universities,
أو في موضوع الاستفادة من المناهج التدريسية في مختلف الاختصاصات.
or it would be in the syllabus and the curriculum of what you have in your universities.
أو التوأمة بين جامعاتنا والجامعات البريطانية.
or the twinning projects between Iraqi and British universities.
أو إقامة أبحاث مشتركة بين مراكز البحث العلمي في جامعاتنا مع جامعاتكم.
or having joint research between the Iraqi research centers and the British research centers in your universities.
وكذلك قبول المفيدين العراقيين من التدريسيين الجامعيين من أجل تنمية قدراتهم والتعرف على التطور الجاري في الجامعات البريطانية.
And also welcoming the lecturers and teaching staff in Iraqi universities in your universities and provide them with the training necessary to develop their skills and abilities.
إن زيارتنا اليوم للمملكة المتحدة هو بالحقيقة للالتقاء مع المسؤولين عن هذه الجامعات لتيسير بعض المشكلات أو المعوقات التي تحول دون تيسير هذه العلاقة.
The objective of our visit to Britain today and meeting with yourselves, the higher level of management in your universities, is to listen to you and see what are the obstacles that's stopping the direct relationship between the higher education and the British relationship.
بالأمس كان لنا لقاء مع وزير الجامعات البريطانية
Yesterday we had a meeting with His Excellency the Minister of Universities, Mr. David Willits.
وحاولنا أن نطرح عليه بعض هذه المعوقات.
And we tried to offer to him and discuss with him some of these obstacles.
ووعدنا بأنه سيذلل هذه المشكلات بما يمكن أن يحقق أهداف هذا التعاون وتعميقه.
And he promised to follow up and discuss with his staff these obstacles and make sure they are overcome.
من هذه المعوقات مسألة اللغة.
One of these obstacles is the language problem.
لأن أغلب الطلاب الذين يودون استكمال دراستهم العليا في الجامعات البريطانية يحتاجون إلى لغة بمستوى عالي.
Because most of our students who are required to come to Britain, they will require a high level of English level.
وأغلب الطلاب يقضون حوالي أكثر من 6 أشهر هنا في بريطانيا لتعلم اللغة.
And according to our statistics, more than 6 months our students have to spend in Britain to learn English.
ولما كانت مسألة اللغة أساسية اقترحنا أن نقيم في جامعاتنا العراقية مراكز لتعليم اللغة الإنجليزية يديرها أساتذة من الجامعات البريطانية.
And because we would like to overcome this problem from our side as well, we started now to thinking about opening English language training centers now in universities.
ونحن من جانبنا سنوفر الوضع الأمني المناسب في المحافظات التي هي بالحقيقة تتمتع بهذا الاستقرار الأمني للحفاظ على أرواح الأساتذة الذين ينتدبون لهذا الغرض.
And we will going to provide all the necessary security measures for these centers, because we hope these centers will accommodate staff from your side, from Britain.
وتحدثنا مع السيد الوزير كذلك بشأن تسهيل مهمة قدوم الطلبة الزائرين العراقيين إلى المملكة المتحدة خلال فترة تعلم اللغة.
But also we promised, David Willis also promised that he's going to provide all the necessary facilitation for our students to come to study English also in Britain.
وكذلك تحدثنا بشأن موضوع تسهيل الدراسة السريرية أو التطبيقية بالنسبة للأطباء العراقيين، لأن ذلك غير ميسور في الوقت الحاضر، إنما هي ميزة أعطيت فقط للطلبة السعوديين.
And also we discussed with David Willis, the minister, that the clinical medical training for Iraqi doctors, some similar procedure that was offered to Saudis.
وبشكل عام رحب السيد الوزير بكل هذه المطالب ووعدنا على أنه سيحققها جميعا.
And Mr. David Willis, he welcomed all our suggestions and he promised to work and follow up on all of them.
وسيتابع السيد المستشار العراقي هنا في السفارة العراقية هذه المسألة مع الوزير مباشرة لتنفيذ ما وعدنا به.
And we authorize now Mr. Professor Al-Musawi, the Iraqi Cultural Consular, to follow up with Mr. David Willis' office all these follow-up process.
ويهمنا اليوم أن نتحدث معكم بشكل مباشر بشأن مسألة التواصل مع جامعاتنا من أجل تعميق الأبحاث المشتركة عبر مراكز الأبحاث والوحدات البحثية العراقية.
And today we would like to speak to you face to face in this meeting about the possibility of working on real procedures for research centers and research groups between Iraqi universities and your universities.
فإننا اليوم نفضل أن يكون المشرف على طالب الدراسات العليا هو من الخارج ومن الداخل، بحيث يمكن تعشيق هذه العلاقة بين المشرفين العراقيين والمشرفين الأجانب لتعضيد هذه البحوث وتقويتها.
We would like to talk about the joint supervision between Iraqi professors and British professors for Iraqi students who are studying either in Iraq or Britain.
وكذلك الاستفادة من المستلزمات والأجهزة المتوفرة في المختبرات أو المراكز البحثية في الجامعات البريطانية.
Also would like to utilize the facilities available in the laboratories in your universities.
أن نشر الأبحاث العلمية المشتركة بيننا وبين المشرفين البريطانيين مسألة ذات دلالة بالنسبة لجودة التعليم في العراق.
The joint research between Iraqi and British universities will have its impact on the Iraqi higher education system.
لذلك نحن نشدد على تنمية هذه العلاقات بين الجامعات وندعوكم جميعا لزيارة العراق دون تخوف من ما يعرض في الإعلام بأن هناك في العراق وضعا غير قابل للتحمل من الناحية الأمنية.
And also we'd like to ask you all to consider visiting Iraq and thinking about making real relationship with Iraqi universities, and don't listen to the media and what is said about Iraq. This is all propaganda to stop you from going to this potential market.
هناك العديد من المحافظات جنوب بغداد بالحقيقة آمنة بدرجة كبيرة.
There are many cities south of Iraq. The level of security is really high. That doesn't deserve this propaganda.
أن الرؤية والمشاهدة للجامعات العراقية والتطور الذي حدث فيها مسألة ضرورية بالنسبة للأساتذة أو التدريسيين في الجامعات البريطانية.
The raise of level of research in Iraqi universities will hope to be very welcomed by your universities.
لأن هناك أبحاثا يمكن أن تكون مشتركة لمنفعة العراق يهتم بها الباحثون البريطانيون من جهة وكذلك الباحث العراقي من جهة أخرى.
Because also Iraq is rich of research problems that can be used also by research and research professors in Britain in joint efforts with Iraqi researchers.
أننا في هذه المرحلة نؤكد على طلاب الدراسات العليا للبحث بمشكلات العراق البيئية والطبيعية واستغلال الموارد المتاحة في العراق من أجل تطوير الحياة بشكل عام داخل العراق.
And from here we would like to invite all your researchers to consider Iraqi research problems, because Iraq is, as I said, rich of research problems that can be considered and good work can be produced from both sides.
لذلك نرغب بالحقيقة أن توجه جامعاتكم طلبتنا الذين يقومون بالدراسة والبحث في الجامعات البريطانية للاهتمام بالمشكلات القائمة في العراق وليس بالمشكلات القائمة في بيئات أخرى.
That's why we would like also, when you consider postgraduate, particularly PhD researchers, when you give them research problems, if you consider problems in Iraq and collecting data from Iraq and not local problems in Britain.
أن رغبتنا أكيدة في إقامة حاضنات للأعمال وحاضنات تكنولوجية في الجامعات العراقية من أجل استكمال بعض البحوث بما يمكن أن ينفع تقدم المؤسسات وحل المشكلات العالقة.
And we are also committed to establish science parks in Iraqi universities that will be the host of research efforts and research groups between Iraq and Britain.
قريبا ربما قد يكون في غضون الشهر القادم إن شاء الله سيكون لدينا مؤتمر، وبودنا أن يشترك بعض الباحثين من هذه الدولة في هذا المؤتمر. المؤتمر عنوانه بالحقيقة البحث العلمي بشأن ظاهرة الانتحار العقائدي الذي يفجر الإنسان نفسه مدفوعا بعقيدة الجهاد في منطقتنا الإسلامية والعربية.
Next month we'll have a large conference regarding the phenomenon of terrorism and particularly the suicide bombers in the Middle East area, and we'd like to study this phenomenon and see why this is happening in this particular area of the world and what are the reasons, what are the potential psychology, etc. So we would like your presence in this conference.
وباعتقادي بأن الفرصة متاحة خلال 25 يوم القادمة، يعني اليوم الذي سيقام به المؤتمر، أن يشترك بعض الباحثين المتخصصين في علم النفس الاجتماعي بتقديم دراسة بهذا الشأن.
And that's going to be after 25 days, and we hope this is an invitation for your researchers in psychology to participate in this conference.
وسيكون لنا أيضا مؤتمرات قريبة أخرى في جميع المجالات، وبودنا أن تشترك جامعاتكم وأنتم مدعوين للحضور إلى هذه المؤتمرات حتى يمكن أن تكون النتائج المتمثلة من هذه المؤتمرات نتائج معتمدة دوليا.
And also we'll have more conferences similar to this and in other subjects, and we hope that you consider participating in these conferences that will help benefit both sides, Iraq and Britain.
سأترككم مع رؤساء بعض الجامعات العراقية الذين استطاعوا بالحقيقة التحصيل على تأشيرة الدخول إلى بريطانيا على عجالة، وإلا كانت الرغبة هو مشاركة عدد أكبر من رؤساء الجامعات في هذا المجلس.
We'll give you the space later this morning to talk with our 4 presidents of Iraqi universities who were again delayed to come to Britain because of the visa issue happened when we planned it in the first place.
وبالإمكان أن يكون الحديث بينكم وبينهم بشكل مباشر للاستفادة من هذه الفرصة من أجل تمتين التعاون وكذلك توقيع مذكرات تفاهم بالشكل الذي يمكن أن ينفع هذه الجامعات.
And please use this opportunity to talk to them directly and suggest your projects and proposals, because they are authorized to sign direct agreements between their universities and your universities.
وشكرا مرة أخرى لحضوركم.
And thank you very much for your attendance today. Now we'll have time for questions and answers, please, and His Excellency also happy to answer any question you have. Yes, please.
Critical mass in Iraq and also have sustainable higher education in Iraq. We have to move beyond just students coming to the UK.
اوكي، النقطة اللي يقولها انه في كثير من الطلاب العراقيين سيدرسون في بريطانيا، بس احنا نفكر بانه كيف نسوي علاقة مستقرة بين التعليم العالي العراقي والبريطاني وليس فقط ارسال المزيد من الطلاب.
And I was particularly interested in His Excellency's comments about building research relationships, because it strikes me that if we have collaborative research projects spanning Iraq and the UK, and for that matter other countries as well, then that will hopefully enable future postgraduate researchers to move between the two countries.
هو كل شيء يرحب بفكرة انه تأسيس مراكز ابحاث مشتركة، ويحب يسمع تعليقكم معالي الوزير على انه كيف تحبون انه آلية تنفيذ هذا المشروع.
But my real problem is how we go about establishing such collaborative research projects, because to enable such projects to come about, you almost need to match people and match ideas, and we need a forum, I think, that will facilitate researchers in the UK finding partners in Iraq and vice versa. This doesn't happen automatically.
يقول انه النقطة هي اللي حتى يصير انه اللقاء بين الباحثين العراقيين والبريطانيين في مركز ابحاث مشترك يحتاج كثير من اللوجيستكس، يتطلب اللقاء ملتقى بيناتهم، التعارف بين الجانبين، الاتفاق على النقاط اللي يتم مناقشتها ضمن هذا الفورم راح يصير في مركز الابحاث المشترك. Thank you.
طبعا الفكرة جيدة، احنا نرحب بها واحنا نرغب لها، وباعتقادي بأن الأخ الدكتور موسى الموسوي اللي هو المستشار الثقافي الموجود في لندن بالإمكان أن ينظم أيضا مؤتمر أو بالحقيقة جلسة مشتركة بين أهم المراكز البحثية في الجامعات العراقية أو المرتبطة بالمديرية العامة للبحث والتطوير في العراق مع أهم المراكز البحثية اللي موجودة في الجامعات في بريطانيا، واللي موضوعاتها تهم تطوير الوضع في العراق بيئيا أو اجتماعيا أو أي شيء آخر.
As a Minister of Higher Education, I really welcome establishing research centers on the ground between Iraq and Britain. And to do this, I suggest and I authorize the Cultural Councillor, Professor Musa al-Musawi, to hold conference in London between the research centers in the UK, your universities, and will invite heads of research centers in Iraq and let them sit together and discuss about the mechanism for the way forward.
ومن بعدها تتنظم الزيارات بين الباحثين التابعين لمراكزنا إلى مراكزهم، وكذلك بالعكس، يعني احنا هم ندعو أصحاب المراكز البحثية في بريطانيا أن يزورون مراكزنا في العراق.
After this conference, we would like in London between Iraqi Cultural Attache and the research centers and the heads of research centers in Iraq, we will also hope that there will be visits from the Iraqi researchers to Britain, to the research centers in your universities, and also we hope that your researchers will pay a visit to Iraq to discuss and agree on the agenda of the main ideas for discussion. Thank you. Yes, please.
David Coslett, Deputy Vice-Chancellor from Plymouth University. I think firstly we want to say how much we value the visit of His Excellency to the United Kingdom, because that signals the importance of the relationship between the two companies, and that's very important to say that first of all.
السيد ديفيد هو مساعد رئيس جامعة بليموث، هي كلش يرحب في الجاية حضرتك إلى لندن، لأن يقول له هذا إشارة إلى أنه على رأس التعليم العالي اللي هو وزير التعليم العالي، ومرحب في هذا التعاون بين العراق وبريطانيا.
Because what I think the Minister has talked to us this morning about is moving away from a model that is a very basic model of students coming here to study, and we are not building capacity. We're not making a much richer relationship between the higher education sector in the United Kingdom and higher education in Iraq. And I think this is what the Minister is asking us to develop and commit to this morning.
ومعالي الوزير اليوم نقلتنا من التفكير بشكل سطحي وبسيط من أنه فقط العلاقة بين العراق وبريطانيا هي مجرد إرسال طلاب، إلى أنه ننتقل إلى علاقة أثمن وعلى أرض الواقع تكون أكثر قوية من أجل عمل علاقة مستقرة بين العراق وبريطانيا في قطاع التعليم العالي.
And I think my colleague is right that this is done through much better communication between individuals and between institutions. And I think the visit of the presidents here today, if they can't come, and the invitation is to come to Plymouth, as I'm sure my colleagues will be inviting them to other parts of the United Kingdom, but that is the way that we can develop those research synergies for us, particularly in biomedical and in marine. But there are many, many ways in which we can develop that personal relationship and take it forward into real projects. I think that is the key as we move forward.
ومثل ما قال زميلي اللي تحدث قبلي انه احنا فعلا محتاجين ان نسوي خطوه على ارض الواقع، ووجود رؤساء الجامعات اليوم هو ايضا اشاره الى انه جديه الموضوع وبامكاننا انه نقيم علاقات مباشره معهم. وانا ادعو رؤساء الجامعات الى زياره جامعه بليموث، ومتاكد الزملاء ايضا لهم نفس الدعوه لهذا الموضوع.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Ali. My name is Ali Al-Mamar, and collaboratively with you.
نشكر معالي الوزير على الحضور، واحنا نرحب بالطلبه العراقيين، وكما احنا نرغب بالانفتاح عالميا على كثير من الطلاب من الخارج.
For me, the importance of providing medical education is to provide a pathway with English at foundation through to postgraduate studies, and that is something we're keen to develop with you. Thank you.
ولدينا برنامج خاص في الدراسات الأولية للكليات الطبية، ويشملها برنامج لغة وبرنامج فاونديشن اللي هو تمهيدي. Thank you very much.
أنا أرجع مرة أخرى على الدكتور علي معمار حول مقترح، الآن الدكتور موسى قدي بالمقترح هو موصل إلى مديرية البعثات عندنا في العراق، ويبدو أنه بعض الطلاب بدأوا يجون على هذا الأساس. بس أنا أوجه لك الدعوة لبرنامج معين عندنا اسمه برنامج الأستاذ الزائر، وأنت هناك تلتقي بالأخوة اللي هم اختصاصهم مقارب لاختصاصك أو مع كليات الطب بالعراق، شوف طلابنا، بالإضافة إلى أنه هم تلقي عدة محاضرات يستفيدون من عندك، وبنفس الوقت حرضهم لطلابنا اللي يريدون يستمرون بالدراسة ويقولون أن أنا على هاي الاختصاصات فش وقت مناسب لك، أنت بس حدد التاريخ حتى نوجه لك دعوة خلال أسبوع يمكن تقدر تكون هناك إن شاء الله.
Was an answer from His Excellency to Dr. Ali regarding the 4 years program. He suggested and invited Dr. Ali to come to Iraq on visiting professor scheme in 1 week maybe if he can, and also talk to his colleagues in Iraq about the program. Thank you. I think you, yes please.
I'll speak in English on the Iraq.
وللظروف الخاصة أتوا إلى هنا ولديهم الاستعداد للتعاون معكم، وشكرا جزيلا.
أحسنت.
Dr. Omar, the head of Iraqi Academics Association in Britain, and they also made
Sorry, not head, one member.
A member of the Iraqi Academics Association in Britain, and he made a good suggestion of using video conferencing between Iraqi universities and British universities that can facilitate a lot of issues like admissions, interviews, and also even English training.
Assalamu alaikum. Professor Kamal Bashkoum, Pro-Vice Chancellor at the University of Northampton. I was encouraged, Your Excellency, by your vision of the type of partnership that you are looking to establish with the universities in the UK, and that's exactly what we are doing with a few universities, including the University of Babylon, with whom we have the standard student progression, 2+1, 2+2. All that is, as my colleagues have already said, is something that we have been doing for a long, long time. But what we are doing with Babylon, for example, and we've recently signed a memorandum of understanding with WASIT as well, is to extend that partnership to include not only research but also intellectual capital, staff development, capacity building, systems, whether they are quality assurance or other organizational systems. And that's a model, sorry.
مساعد رئيس جامعة نورثهامبتون يحييكم ويبدي إعجابه الشديد في الاستراتيجية لكم في التعليم العالي والنظرة البعيدة المدى، وهو أيضا يشكركم على السماح للاتفاقية بين جامعته وجامعة بابل على موضوع التوأم اللي صار فيها، وهو أيضا يدعو إلى أنه يشمل الموضوع ليس فقط الطلبة التوأم بالطلبة، وأنه أيضا يشمل الملكية الفكرية وبناء الطاقات والتدريب أيضا.
And also, Your Excellency, in terms of the issues, you've covered most of the issues we have. The language problem, and I was very encouraged by your plans to establish schools and colleges for English language in Iraq. That's something splendid. The security issues, and again, welcome your reassurance about that particular area.
وأنا أيضا معجب بخطتكم الاستراتيجية لدعم موضوع اللغة، تعليم اللغة الإنجليزية من خلال فتح مراكز تعليمية في الجامعة العراقية.
Currently we have 14 professors from Babylon spending a few weeks with us, and that's part of the staff development program.
ولدينا الآن 14 تدريسي من جامعة بابل تحت برنامج تطوير الملاكات التدريسية.
We have joint PhD supervision. We have PhD students coming to Northampton, spending a few months and then going back to Iraq.
لديهم إشراف مشترك حاليا مع جامعة عراقية، ولديهم أيضا طلاب دكتوراه قادمين من العراق للدراسة في جامعتهم.
And I myself interviewed a few Iraqi students, and again one very important question to every one of them: what's the impact of your research on the Iraqi nation? If there is no impact, we're not interested.
وسياستي في قبول الطلبة العراقيين هو سؤال كل طالب يقبل في جامعة نورثهامبتون: هل ما هو العلاقة بين مشروعك البحثي وخدمة بلدك العراق؟
We thank you for being with us here today, and for the Vice Chancellors and for Professor Moussaoui, and we look forward to discussions with the Vice Chancellors from the Iraqi universities. Thank you.
ونشكرك جدا على حضورك اليوم وعلى البروفيسور موسوي وعلى توفير فرصة رؤساء الجامعات أن يكونوا معنا اليوم. Yes, please. Next.
Professor Al-Qadisiya, I'm representing Liverpool University. شعاري ولا إنجليزي؟
إنجليزي وترجمة إنجليزي.
عربي. الوزير يقول العربي. عفوا؟ سيد الوزير يقول عربي. أوكي عربي. رافد الخضار، بروفيسور رافد الخضار من ليفربول يونيفرسيتي. أنا أمثل رئيس جامعة اليوم هنا مع الاستضافة قدر يجي هو معايا. وأنا فخور أقول إنه we established 2+2 في جامعة بابل، يعني بدينا ويا جامعة نورثهامبتون، الدكتور ضرغام القفاجي كان جامعة بابل. فإحنا اللي بديناها من خلال بريتش كونسل جرانت، كانت اللي إجوا حوالي 60 ستاف من جامعة بابل تدربوا عندنا بالجامعة. يعني اللي شفته إنه أكاديميا ما ينقصنا شيء كعراقيين حقيقة، يعني ما على طول أقولها أنا there is nothing صح نقدر نضيف عليه. اللي ينقصنا capacity building، شلون نتعلم السيستم، شلون نتعلم نتعامل مع الطلاب مع الجامعات، هذا اللي ينقصنا الموجود. لأنه فترة الحصار اللي صارت الحروب اللي بالعراق مع الأسف رجعتنا شوي لورا، بس من ناحية أكاديمية الحقيقة الطلاب اللي يجون ممتازين وأكثر من ممتازين. يعني ثاني عندي حوالي 4 طلاب من بابل ومن ديالة، يعني ممتازين، ما تعيبهم على شيء، تعطيه شغلة يروح يشتغلها ويجي يكملها كاملة يعني. بس المشكلة هي الكاباسيتي بيلدينج. فأنا ويا دكتور ضرغام من جامعة بابل، السيد رئيس جامعة بابل، حكينا وياه كثير إنه ريد شادوينج، يجي ممبر أوف ستاف من الجامعات ما يسوي شيء، يقعد ويانا يحضر اجتماعات، يحضر مجالس امتحانات، يحضر محاضرات، بس حتى يشوفوا طريقة التعامل، وهذا اللي نريد النقله للعراق. يعني هذا شفته شيء جدا مهم اللي مو نقول نفتقده، شوية متأخرين به يعني مع الأسف. فهذا اللي نرغب به. الشغلة الثانية هي صايرة ولو جامعة بابل بدأت بيها، إنه الأكريديتيشن، يعني تقييم المناهج من جهة عالمية. يعني هاي شغلة جدا مهمة أعتقد، لأنه باكر عقبة إذا أكو جامعتين صار تقييم مناهجها بصورة، يعني أنا أحكي لك بالسبعينات جامعة البصرة، أنا خريج جامعة البصرة، كانت كلية الطب بالبصرة وكلية الطب بغداد والموصل معترف بها في إنجلترا، من الكليه الملكيه للاطباء الرويال كالتشرال سيرفيس. فاحنا نريد هذا الشيء يصير. اكو هنا هوايه شغلات واحنا نقدر نعاون الجامعات العراقيه بالشغله انه شلون نطور مناهجهم بحيث نقدر نسوي لها اكريديتيشن هنا. وشكرا جزيلا على زيارتكم ودعوتكم ونشرفكم.
شكرا جزيلا. Yes, please.
Thank you. My name is Keith Manette. I'm the Vice Chancellor of the University of Sheffield. And it's a great pleasure to be here and have the invitation to learn about what's going on. And what I wanted to say...
رئيس جامعة شeffield الأستاذ كيث يحب يرحب بكم اليوم ويحب أن بعض المقترحات.
is we have a growing number of brilliant young Iraqis doing research at the University of Sheffield.
لدينا عدد كبير من الطلبة الأذكياء الموجودين حاليا في جامعة شeffield.
And I know that when we are looking to build communities between research communities across country, they are the most precious resource.
ونحن نؤمن أن خلق جو تعاوني بين الباحثين العراقيين والبريطانيين هو يكون أحسن بيئة للتطوير والتعاون المشترك بين البلدين.
And what I'd like to do is organise a conference of our students, Iraqi students, and get them to encourage their supervisors and get them both in Iraq and here in England.
ونحن ندعو إلى إقامة مؤتمر علمي يقام من قبل الطلبة العراقيين الدارسين في جامعة شeffield ودعوة أساتذتهم اللي في العراق أن يحضرون هذا المؤتمر حتى يشوفون التطور العلمي الحاصل في جامعة شeffield.
But again, thank you for your visit and thank you for this meeting.
ونشكركم على زيارتكم وعلى هذا الاجتماع. Thank you.
جيد إن شاء الله.
This conference is brilliant and we will have plenty of very good suggestions. So thank you. Yes, please.
راح أتكلم بالعربي. السلام عليكم دكتور عايش الباز استاذ جامعة نورثامبتون مع دكتور كمال. أعقب على حديث السيد رئيس مساعد رئيس الجامعة. عندنا طلبات بتيجي في برنامج التوأمة اللي سويناه مع بابل الآن مع واسط بدينا. لكنه بعض الكليات الأهلية بدأت اللي هي كلية الدراسات الإنسانية في النجف اللي مدعومة من العتبة العباسية. حاليا وقعنا مذكرة تفاهم معهم لأنه أنا أشعر أنه الكليات الأهلية أيضا تحتاج دعم وتقييم الكريديتيشن يعني لمناهجها لأنه يعني هي جزء من المنظومة التعليمية بالعراق. ومع ذلك احنا مشينا بالموضوع حاليا الموافقات مشت فلا لا يا حبذا انه جامعة الأهلية أو الكليات الأهلية بالتخصصات معينة ممكن تحتاج هاي برامج.
أي تخصص هسه
احنا بدأنا بالحاسبات. نعم الحاسبات. بدينا بالحاسبات وبعدين كلية التمريض وكلية الإدارة والاقتصاد أيضا هسه وقعنا معهم في جامعة بابل. واسط راح تدز بالحاسبات. لأنه الأسهل ظاهر بالحاسبات. أيضا مسألة أخرى وجود شخص مثل جامعة بابل الدكتور ضرغام جدا مهم يسهل العمل لأنه هو اللي حقيقة الإجراءات مو بس الروتين هنا الروتين بالعراق أيضا فتأخذ مسألة حقيقة طويلة مال توأمة فوجود شخص معين في الجامعة as a point of contact له صلاحية يمشي المعاملات خصوصا فيما يخص برامج التوأمة هذا الشيء يعني مهم. شكرا جزيلا شرفتنا.
That was Dr. Ali Sherbas from Northampton University discussing the Babylon agreement for twinning project with Northampton University. Any more questions? Yes, please. Yeah.
Dr. Francis Robinson from the University of Buckingham. I'd like to say how much I agree that so many memorandums of understanding are signed and they go nowhere.
أستاذ جامعة باكنغهام عندي شيء أن أتى تعليق على موضوع مذكرات التفاهم التي توقع مع الجامعة العراقية ولكن لا يوجد أي تطبيق على أرض الواقع.
I think the most important thing is to have personal contact, to have someone who is going to be personally in charge of bringing this forward. And we've done that in our own university with our head of computing.
لدي مقترح من أجل إنجاح أي مذكرة تفاهم يجب تعيين شخص من كلا الطرفين يكون هو نقطة التواصل بين الطرفين لتثبيت ومتابعة ما تم التوقيع عليه.
So our head of computing, Dr. Sabah Jassim, who is an Iraqi, through his personal contacts and his many visits, has built up a research group in his department of over 30 Iraqi research students.
ولدينا أستاذ اسمه أستاذ جاسم دكتور جاسم صباح جاسم من خلال علاقاته الشخصية مع الجامعة العراقية استطاع يعمل مركز أبحاث بيكون من 30 تدريسي 30 باحث.
And the other area, because we're an everyone knows, a very small university, is now clinical MD. And again, through personal contacts, we have about 30 Iraqi doctors at present studying for our clinical MD.
ولدينا برنامج للدراسات الطبية السريرية، ولدينا حاليا 30 طبيب عراقي يدرسون في هذه الجامعة.
And in one area in particular that we're hoping to expand this collaboration is that we are setting up the first private medical school in the UK. And one of the situations there is that this medical school will not have restriction on numbers of overseas students.
ولدينا خاصية مميزة في جامعتنا لكونها جامعة خاصة للدراسات الطبية، فليس لدينا أي قيود على عدد الأطباء القادمين من الخارج.
We will be selecting our students on their ability and their suitability to study medicine.
وبالتأكيد سوف نختار الطلبة بناء على قابليتهم وإمكانياتهم العلمية لدراسة الطب في جامعتنا. شكرا. Thank you.
My name is Alistair Niven from the Iraq-Britain Business Council. May I again welcome His Excellency, because a meeting of this sort is so invaluable. The reason I speak is that last November the Iraq-Britain Business Council with UKTI led a mission of 50 British companies to Iraq, including, in the definition of companies, universities, and 13 universities went to Iraq and were very well received, both in Baghdad and in Erbil. They included Dr. Jassim, whose name has just been mentioned, from Buckingham University. We had a range of universities from Oxford through to the newest.
Let me just introduce you first, please. دكتور نايثن ألستر، رئيس مجلس الأعمال العراقي البريطاني، ويقول انه احنا لدينا نرحب معالي الوزير بهذا اللقاء النوعي مع الجامعات البريطانيه والعراقيه، ونحن لدينا قمنا بزياره الى العراق العام الماضي باصطحاب 50 شركه وفق على الجامعه البريطانيه من ضمنها جامعه بوكينغهام بخصوص الموضوع الطبي.
My question is a simple one for Your Excellency. If IBBC were to organise a mission this autumn of senior people from British universities to Iraq, may we count on the support of the Ministry of Higher Education for such a mission?
سؤالي بسيط، المجلس الأعمال العراقي البريطاني IBBC رتب هذا خريف هذا العام زيارة كبيرة من قبل رؤساء الجامعات البريطانية. إذا رتب بالضبط، هل يحصل دعم الجامعات؟ هل يحصل دعم وزارة التعليم العالي العراق؟
بالتأكيد، عندنا زيارات متبادلة مع العديد من الدول، بس كانت الجرأة قليلة في القدوم إلى العراق خلال الفترة السابقة، بس الحمد لله الآن أغلب الزائرين يجونا احنا ننظم لهم مؤتمرات ويلتقون بآخرين من المسؤولين في التعليم العالي، فعملية سهلة يعني ما بها أي نوع من الصعوبة، بس قد يصير تنسيق مع مديرية البعثات.
We strongly recommend and welcome the visit that you are suggesting, proposing, and will make sure that it is successful. Maybe in the past there was hesitance from different countries to come to Iraq, but from nowadays things are getting better, and we will welcome your visit. But please let us know through the Directorate of Scholarships and Public Relations in the Ministry of Higher Education.
I'm very encouraged by your answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions, please? Yes, please.
Good morning. My name is Beverly Whitehead. I'm the Head of Student Recruitment and Admissions at the University of Stirling in Scotland. Again, thank you very much indeed for the invitation to attend today. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to be here. I have a question, if I may. I was really encouraged at the information this morning that universities are going to be authorised to work directly with universities here in the UK to discuss possibilities for collaboration in areas of joint research and so on. I'd like to know whether the government has designated specific areas of priority in terms of investment into some of these research centres, just to help us really as we start to consider how we may begin to move this forward with our colleagues in Iraq.
السيدة بيفرلي مدير المكتب الدولي في جامعة ستيرلينغ في اسكتلند، وسؤالها انه هي معجبة بانه اعطاء الصلاحيات لرؤساء الجامعات العراقية توقيع مذكرة تفاهم، سؤالها عن الاولويات التي ترونها مهمة للبداية في التحادث والحوار مع الجامعات العراقية، هل لديكم اولويات في مساحات بحثية معينة او تخصصات معينة؟
وكل جامعة من الجامعات عندها اهتمامات او عندها تخصصات هي اهم من بقية التخصصات الاخرى. احنا راح نتيح الفرصة للأخوة رؤساء الجامعات يقعدون هنا بمكاننا، وكل واحد يتحدث عن جامعته وميزة هذه الجامعة فيما يهم من الأبحاث، حتى يطلعون هم من بعد ذلك هم يبدون يوصفون أي علاقة وياهم.
Each Iraqi university, they will have their own priorities, and we fully authorize them to discuss with you after we finish now this meeting with you directly face to face, and they will be able to highlight the main areas for priorities. Thank you.
فأنا أترك شو اسمه الإخوان رؤساء الجامعة تفضل هنا مكاننا وذكر بعدين. لا يعني آخر الجلسة مو؟ لو هسه
شو تبقى دفع؟
يلا. وأنت اللي راح توقع.
بس برعاية معينة.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is the time now to celebrate with Brighton University and Diyala University the moment of signing a memorandum of understanding in the presence of the Iraqi Ministry of Higher Education.
من الطرف الرئيس الطرف الآخر. الجامعات الأخرى وشنو اللي راح يوفروا؟ هو راح
Your Excellency, Professor Jawad and Mr. Masawi, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to sign this Memorandum of Understanding of Diyala University today on behalf of the University of Reading. My name is Stephen Mythen, I'm Pro-Vice Chancellor at the University, and my University, Reading, is very pleased to support the development of higher education in Iraq. We're doing this for entirely mutual benefit, aware of the excellence of the quality of the students and the academics in Iraq, and the research opportunities that will only be fulfilled by true collaborative research. Now, Reading does not sign memorandums of understanding lightly. As was noted, memorandums of understanding require productive activities to arise from them. This signing today is the second stage of our engagement with the University of Diyala. We had a very successful project funded by the Delphi scheme, led by Dr. Karim and Professor Lawrence Harwood from the University of Reading, supporting capacity building in the departments of chemistry. And we'd be very keen for a scheme like the Delphi scheme to return, because we feel that these are some of the most useful ways for collaboration to develop. This second stage of our engagement with the Diyala University is geared to supporting the development of split-site PhD projects, staff development schemes, following the very good example we heard from the University of Northampton. Reading is very keen to support English language developments, ideally within Iraq itself, but potentially within the UK, and in a wide areas of academic work such as construction, chemistry and the environmental sciences. As was noted by various of our speakers, for these to materialise, it's critical that there is direct contact between academics and early career researchers. The best collaborations often have a basis of personal friendship and understanding lying behind them before they develop. So we're very keen on the ideas of conferences and visits that were suggested earlier. But however enthusiastic universities are, we do work under the constraints of our own government in terms of visas, and we heard about those this morning in terms of medical training, and of course concerns about security situations in Iraq. And we are pleased to hear that they may be improving to hopefully facilitate a greater number of UK academics and staff to visit Iraq and the contact with the universities themselves. So Reading is absolutely delighted to have this opportunity to take this next step forward in our relationship with Diyala University today. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor May.
جامعة ديالا حقيقة بصراحة الأستاذ الدكتور عباس فاضل الدليمي رئيس جامعة ديالا. جامعة ديالا نوقع اليوم مذكرة تفاهم مع جامعة ريدنج البريطانية، ونطمح إلى أنه إن شاء الله تكون الخطوة الأولى بالتعاون مع الجامعات البريطانية. عندنا تدريب طلبة، وعندنا تدريب ملاكات تدريسية، وعندنا إرسال طلبة ماجستير ودكتوراه للدراسة في التخصصات العلمية، وسنرسل وفد إن شاء الله بعد التوقيع على المذكرة من علماء الكليات العلمية لمعرفة المجالات اللي يتم بها إن شاء الله التعاون المثمر والجاد من قبل جامعتنا مع الجامعات البريطانية.
Professor Abbas Al-Dulaimi, President of Diyala University, he is delighted today to sign an agreement between his university and Reading University, and he hopes that this is the start of having serious collaboration with British universities, and after this step of signing an MOU to be followed by another visit by the deans of his colleges in Diyala University to discuss with their peers in Reading University to put practical steps for the collaboration that we are going to sign today.
Well, scarf.
This is a scarf from Diyala University to visit the University of
الوزارة تقدمها معالي الوزير.
This is the gift also from the logo of Babylon University, handed to Vice Chancellor, Pro-Professor of University of Reading by the Minister of Higher Education. That is done by hands, by local people in Diyala. That's also a shield of the University of Diyala, also handed to Vice Chancellor of University of Reading, Professor Brighton, and this. It's a full guide of also Diyala University, also handed to Professor Brighton.
I have a small gift from the University of Britain. But they're given with a very warm heart.
Thank you very much.
you very much.
Thank you very much. And now the presidents of Iraqi universities are going to
مرحبا دكتور، أنا راح أتكلم بالعربي. أنا الدكتور وليد المراني من جامعة بليموث. حقيقة أنا خدمت جامعة بغداد 45 سنة وجيت أنا بما تبقى من العمر، فمع هذا قدرت أحصل قبولات لي أكثر من 350 طالب عراقي، من جملتهم في جامعة بليموث 130 وفي جامعات أخرى حوالي 70 طالب عراقي. في جامعة بليموث سوينا نشاط صار سنتين عيدة، وهو إقامة اليوم العراقي اللي ندمج به يوم عن العراق إضافة إلى مؤتمر علمي. وكان آخر مؤتمر عندنا اليوم العراقي حضرت الأستاذ الدكتور موسى الموسوي. كان حقيقة مؤتمر ناجح، قدم فيه بحوث كثيرة للطلبة وبوسترات ومعلومات كثيرة وغزيرة عن العراق القديم والعراق الحديث. فأنا أعتقد هذا لينك ممتاز، يا ريت بقية الجامعات تقدر تسوي من عنده، لأن في التظاهرة حضره الأساتذة ومساعد رئيس جامعة وإلى كثيرين آخرين.
This was a comment from Professor Walid Al-Murani from Plymouth University, and he managed successfully to bring 130 PhD students to his university, Plymouth. And this is something he's really proud of, and he also invites other universities to share with him how to get to know Iraqi universities and Iraqi students. Now we have the president. Now thank you, Mr. Minister, for your time. And now we have the presidents of Iraqi universities. Now we'll head the panel, and they will be happy to talk about the universities and then themselves, and then the priorities of research and the projects that are willing to discuss with you today, and hopefully it will be a successful discussion. دكتور عباس الدليمي تحبوا تفضلون؟ ولا
والله نبدأ الاستفادة Good morning, everybody. It's a real honor and pleasure to be with you this morning. And we were really honored by having such a good meeting. And today is a Friday, and as you know, Friday is a holiday in the Islamic dictionary. So everything done on Friday will be successful. Yeah. So I'm the president of Basra University, and I'm a graduate of UK. I'm a graduate of the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh in 1980. And I'm really proud to say this, because we learn a lot from the British. And it is well known to everybody that the British are innovator, not theater. And they educated peoples all over the world. This is a real fact, just for the sake of humanity. Basra University was established after Baghdad and Mosul University. And now it's a very big university, yes, but now we are celebrating 50 years old. And this is the anniversary of the Basra University. And it consists of 18 colleges, almost all specialties. We have it all. We have the medical side, the engineering side, and everything. In addition to this and that, we have 3 distinguished centers, which is unique for Basra University, and that is the Center of Marine Science and the Center for Date Palms. You know, Basra is a city for date palms. It's a well-known fact. Probably the best dates you can get is in Basra, not in Saudi Arabia. And also we have Center for Gulf Studies. So 3 distinguished centers, only can find it only in Basra. We are more than happy to shake hands and collaborate with the British universities. We already had some memorandum of understanding with Bangor, with Durham, with Glasgow, with Cardiff, and as the lady said, that still did not come to existence. And this is really sad that once we sign the memorandum of understanding, it should come to existence. And I said it yesterday, and I say it today and after tomorrow, that we need exchange of guests. We need professors from your side coming to Basra, and we can come here and contribute. We want combined research. We are looking for combined supervision for the PhD and MSc students. We want somebody to analyze and estimate the research done by Basra universities. And we are more than happy to cover the expenses from door to door. So anybody is interested to come and visit Basra, I do have my cards with me. I can give my cards. You can. And Basra is a relatively safe city. It is located in the south of Iraq. We are almost trouble-free. And the country in general is much better than before, no doubt about this. Sadly, we have some hot zones in the country, but all in all, most of parts of the Iraq is safe now. I'm sure you heard a lot of rumors about Iraq and the security in Iraq. No one will go alive and come alive, but I assure you, our body is before his body. So don't worry, think seriously of visiting us. You will enjoy the Arabian hospitality, and you will see Basra as a distinguished city in the Gulf region. Thank you very much. Waiting for your reply. Then I'll leave the floor to my colleague.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Professor Rahim Mehdi, President of Mustanseriya University in Baghdad. We have in our university 13 colleges, some of them dealing with medicine, College of Medicine and Dental College. And we have College of Sciences also, College of Education, and College of Arts, etc. Our university includes a huge number of students, about 55,000 students. We've been in Bangor University, and I can see a friend of mine, Professor John Hughes, is the president of that university, and we've been signed an MOU with that university, and we suggest something, and they suggest something else. We have been agreed with so many points. We have seen many schools in that university, which we call it, of course, college. That MOU, we are very happy about this agreement, and we are going to activate this MOU when I go back home. I've been graduate from this country, from Aston University in Birmingham. That was on 1981 in chemistry, and everybody in Iraq, all of people who went to study, they hope to do their study in the United Kingdom, because we know the rank of the universities here in the United Kingdom. So everybody graduate from here, we feel proud because of the really the heart, as I said, of these universities and the helpful of people in these universities. I agree with most of the points have been mentioned by my colleague, and we hope to do stronger relationship with your universities, and maybe at the rest of time we may have some talk with some of you. Thank you very much for listening.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sam Qurashi, President Al-Qadisiya University in Diwaniyah. Al-Qadisiya University, QU, was established in 1987 as a state university. The university now includes 14 colleges: education, administration and economy, arts, medicine, veterinary medicine, physical education, science, engineering, agriculture, computer science and mathematics, nursing, pharmacy, and College of Dentistry. We have 55 scientific studies departments and 13 humanities studies department and many consultations offices. The university includes more than 1,000 academies, and it includes more than 20,000 students. Proposal for the main lines for cooperations with the British universities. This proposal shows the needs of Al-Qadisiya University. First, establish a visit program for Al-Qadisiya University faculty members between 12 months for training for research opportunities in higher education in British universities, where some technical aspect of projects can be investigated at British universities, while the financial obligation will be defined for each case separately. Second, updating the curriculum of BSc and MSc and PhD programs of scientific and humanities studies department and Al-Qadisiya University. This can be facilitated by establishing a dialogue between British University and Al-Qadisiya University staff, firstly to establish working relationship and then exchange ideas and information to update the curriculum. Third, give the opportunities and facilities for studying for Al-Qadisiya University to complete their master or PhD studies and university. Finally, sending graduate research scholar to the partner universities to conduct the practical part of their graduate dissertations. Thank you.
Thank you.
جامعة ديالا تضم 14 كلية بين تخصصات علمية وإنسانية. تقع جامعة ديالا إلى شمال مدينة بغداد بحدود 55 كيلومتر.
Professor Abbas Delaney, he's president of Diyala University. He's talking about the Diyala University in North Baghdad. It has 14 colleges, as you call it here, schools, and then it has different specialties, scientific and humanitarian.
موقع المدينة يعتبر من أقدم المواقع التاريخية، إذ مملكة أشمونة يعد تاريخ وجودها إلى 10,000 سنة قبل الميلاد.
And Diyala has a great history. Also, it has a kingdom called Ashnona, which was founded 10,000 years BC.
توجد لدينا الآن حاليا 24 برنامج للماجستير والدكتوراه.
We have 24 programs for postgraduate studies.
18 برنامج للماجستير.
18 programs for masters only.
6 برنامج للدكتوراه.
And 6 programs for PhD.
تم استحداث هذا العام 7 برامج جديدة.
We established 7 new courses this year as well.
4 للماجستير و3 للدكتوراه.
4 for masters and 3 for PhD.
عدد الطلبة المبتعثين لحد الآن بحدود 370 طالب للماجستير والدكتوراه.
The number of postgraduate students only this year was 370 students.
نتمنى بتوقيع مذكرات التفاهم مع الجامعات البريطانية.
We would like to sign agreements with British universities.
أن يزيد عدد البرامج للماجستير والدكتوراه.
In order to increase the number of postgraduate programs.
وتدريب طلبة الدراسات الأولية.
And also train the undergraduate students.
وتدريب الملاكات التدريسية لمدة شهر في العام.
And the staff training program for academic staff.
وسنذهب يوم 17 بعد يومين.
And we'll also have a visit on the 17th of this month.
لتوقيع مذكرة تفاهم مع جامعة غلاسكو.
To sign an MOU with the ministry, with the University of Glasgow.
وعندنا تركيز كبير على التخصصات الطبية.
And we have great interest in the medical specialties.
أتمنى أن نؤدي البرنامج الجديد مع الجامعات الأخرى التي سنوقع معها مذكرات تفاهم.
And we are open and welcome other universities to establish talks and discussions to sign further agreements. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we hear from the presidents of Iraqi universities. They introduce themselves and their universities. And if I may just go back to the question of Beverly from Stanley University about the priorities in each university. In a few words, if you can please let us know what are the main areas of your interest. So the Vice Chancellors and the honored guests today, they will highlight these areas. Please, in a few words, just for them to know what exactly you are after.
We have a desperate need for the architect engineering, which is sadly we have deficiencies in the teaching staff, and architect is invading every aspect of our life. Also, we are looking for support in the nanotechnology, which is again very, very vital nowadays. And stem cell therapy is the third interest of the universities. Other science we are mastering this, but still we need somebody to support us and to upgrade the university. But these 3 main topics which we are looking for. Thank you very much.
Well, the same as my colleague mentioned, about sciences, we look forward to do some research applied sciences, applied rather than theoretical. This is what we need really in our country. And the same as my colleague mentioned, the engineering in general, really. Nanotechnology, which is sometimes engineering, sometimes that's in sciences. Thank you.
Same area, and that is in computer science.
Computer science.
Environment.
Thank you.
كيف التخصصات الطبية؟
لا أنت شنو اللي تريد؟
يعني التربية بكل التخصصات.
خلينا أنا راح أحكي
وهندسة العمارة وتخطيط المكان والاستخدام. الزراعية أيضا الحاسبات والنانو تكنولوجي واللغة الإنجليزية والفنون. هاي برامج بل هم عندنا طرق تدريس علم
I'm speaking on the behalf of my colleagues from the Diyala University, and he insists on having support on the medical specialty and subspecialty. Again, the nanotechnology, the architect, engineering, and the computer science. And also he's interested to have support from the English studies and fine arts. So he's very demanding president, not like myself.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course he has the right, because you know it's a very young university. So the young need support, not like Baghdad University, which is. And for your interest, the medical school in Baghdad was established in 1927. So you can imagine the depth of Baghdad University. Again, my colleagues from Al-Qadisiya raise a vital point, and that is the twinning. Honestly, this is very, very useful. So for example, in the twinning between our universities and universities. For example, Basra with Edinburgh, Mustanseriya with Reading, Al-Qadisiya with Bangor, and so on. So if any one of you interested to have a twinning with our universities, we are more than happy to have this. And we think it is really very useful to have it too. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Well, thank you. Wendy Jordan from British University's Iraqi Consortium. Delighted to see so many members here today. We talked yesterday about some of these partnerships that were started on a very modest basis through the previous Delphi project. This seems to me a model that we need to take forward and develop. And I, as a result of yesterday, managed to link up with a number of useful UK agencies, and I'm going to start some work on building that.
Well, that will be great. We appreciate that.
I would very much like to gather some evidence from people who participated in that scheme. So anybody here who has any useful evidence about how much this has enhanced your twinning, your joint research, your student recruitment, please get in touch with me. And if I may, I will be in touch with you about how it has benefited the Iraqi side.
Yeah, I think this is what I support your idea. Well, I think the best way is to have a shared committee.
Exactly.
Say, that's the best way. Say 3 or 4 represent British university as whole or in general, and equal to them 4 from the Iraqi universities. And this committee meets, say, every 6 months, every 3 months, to discuss the progress of the collaboration and relation with the... That would be great. And mind you, almost all the Iraqi are willing to come to UK for so many reasons. Probably on the top of this, we were occupied by the British. That's why we love them.
And that's very unusual.
Yeah.
People don't have us. They've been occupied.
Somebody was surprised, even postgraduate students are very much interested to come UK.
Yeah.
They are not very much pleased to go somewhere else.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one last question, and then we'll leave the guests and yourselves to discuss and networking over the coffee or tea. Just one last question. From our office, the Iraqi Cultural Attache, and on behalf of our guests, I have a question for you. Also, it was raised by Buckingham University about any agreement that is signed today or in the future that needs follow-up. So what is, I'm sure the question now in the heads of all our guests, what is your strategy for the follow-up as a contact point between Iraqi universities and the British universities? I'll repeat the question. What is your strategy for the follow-up process on any agreement that is signed today or in the future between Iraqi universities and British universities?
Of course, we are more than happy to make all the MOU come to existence. But I think the weakness comes from the British side, to be honest with you, because they are still reluctant or hesitant to come to Iraq. And as you know, the main part of the MOU is the exchange of guests. It's visiting professor from Iraq to UK, from UK to Iraq. It's examiners from UK coming to Iraq, and the reverse is true. So we are more than happy to come here at any time. And hopefully our colleagues in the British universities would have the same feeling to strengthen the MOU. Otherwise, the MOU is not simply signing the MOU, but shed light on the MOU.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I think the other important thing is we have to have a communicator in my university and in yours, as we have done with the Bangor University, which can make life easy. I mean, this can shortcut the procedure to help students to compare. That's what I think.
And there's less English.
الآلية المتبعة في جامعة ديالى إنه بعد توقيع مذكرات التفاهم نرسل عمداء الكليات اللي نحتاج التخصص اللي موجود في بريطانيا، وهم يتفقون مع الكلية المعنية والقسم العلمي المعني، وهذه الآلية التي يضعوها يتم تخصيص الأموال لها، لأن بدون أموال لا نستطيع أن ننفذ أي جزء بالمذكرة، وبعدها إن شاء الله يتم وضع الآليات بشكل مشترك بين الجامعة الموقع المذكرة بكيفية وضع الآليات من أجل تفعيلها بمختلف الاتجاهات.
Diyala University, the strategy followed is to, after signing the MOU, is to send a delegation from deans from Iraqi college, from colleges in the university to be their counterpart in your university, and they will agree on an agenda and a mechanism, what to do, what projects, what areas of research, and they come back to Iraq, to Diyala University, and they will agree on the budgets required to move on with any suggestions made and agreed on between the Iraqi side and the British side, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, just because the time is
don't worry about time. We have plenty of time.
Yeah.
We have to finish our job, irrespective of time.
Yeah. So we'll take more questions or networking. What do you prefer? More questions? Yeah, I think please, yeah. One question. Yeah, yourself.
It's about signing memorandum of understanding. Like my colleague from Reading, at Leicester, we don't sign these agreements willy-nilly, as we say in England. We like to think about them very much before we sign such agreements. And I'm getting slightly worried about the processes that are being talked about here. Because it seems to me that if we entered into such an agreement, and indeed we have already with some universities in Iraq, we would really want to know the details of the relationship before signing, rather than trying to work out those details after signing. I guess what I'm trying to say is that signing pieces of paper are meaningless unless you actually have an understanding of how the relationship is going to develop over the coming years. And my preference would be to put effort into working out the detail of the relationship rather than rushing to sign pieces of paper.
Yeah, I think this is part of signing the memorandum of understanding, is to have a full idea about the background of the university. And I think you have all the right to say this. So now, all the Iraqi universities have a website. So you can easily go to the website, have a look at the university. If you need more details, you can write directly to the university and get every tiny details. I fully agree with you. And certainly all the universities are more than happy to tell you every tiny details about the university. That's okay, we love it.
If I may add one thing about the question, because I think what he meant is the details of the collaboration rather than the university.
But this is again part of the MOU. It's not a blind MOU. I mean, what do you want me to do if I have MOU with you? That's the ABCD of the MOU.
Yes, please.
I was just going to reflect on my colleague's thoughts. I'm Marion Fleming-Freud from the University of Birmingham. We work in a way that very much when we're developing MOUs, it's led on an academic project that's already been identified. So I think the point that we're making here is that in some countries the approach is to sign an MOU and then to look for projects, whereas many British universities work the other way around. They identify the concrete projects first, with specific academics already talking to each other, and it's from that connection that the MOU follows. And it varies from country to country, but you can see that there are some differences there, that many British universities will work in this way, where we look at the project and that leads to the MOU, not the other way around.
That's it. All for you. Whatever you like.
راح كومنت راح اقولها بالعربي حقيقه لان هي احنا اتذكر بالسبعينات الجامعات بدات تشتغل ان تسوي بوكلت عن الجامعه. هذا البوكلت بالاساتذه تخصصاتهم الانترست مالهم والاون جوينج ريسيرش. هذا يسهل امور اولا الجوينت ريسيرش وبنفس الوقت التويننج. من تريدني انا كبريتش يونيفرسيتي تو توين with your university I have to know what you have.
I think all the universities in Iraq nowadays, they have a booklet as you mentioned, plus a DVD telling what is Basra University, what is the future project, everything. I'm sure not only Basra, but all universities in Iraq. We are much better than before, in addition to having a detailed website for the inspection.
But
so don't worry, we have it.
I think, like my colleague was saying, whether the MOU comes first or second, that's a secondary question for me. The important thing is, what is the point of contact? We have an MOU with Basra, you didn't mention, but we have one with Basra. It's over one particular group of academics who want to work with another in marine. So we have a visit in May. If we didn't have the MOU, it would follow that visit. Because what is important is building on the contact, building on the professional concerns of groups or even sometimes individuals in universities, and that's how the relationship developed. Out of this marine partnership with Basra, we hope others will develop. So I think that's the way often these relationships and the twinning idea and the trust and confidence, mutual trust and confidence develops in our universities, and I think that will always be the case.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Can I just make an observation? Maybe I will, Kamal Bishkum from the University of Northampton, maybe I will state the obvious again and labour the point about the contact and the need for contacts from both institutions. But I think the human relationship is crucial to the success of partnerships. And that is the basis of a successful long-term partnership between the universities. And we found in our partnership with the University of Babylon, it's not the systems that we put in place that were different from other universities. It's the relationship between the people. And we should not underestimate that in making it work. And that's working for us in Babylon, and I hope it will work for us in developing similar partnerships with the universities. By the way, I would love to taste the Basra dates. Until I do that, I think it's the Algerian Deglet Noor which is the best.
No, we'll send you. Give me your email, give me your address, and I'll send you Basra dates. It's unique. Basra is city for dates, honestly. That's well known fact all over the world. And even the dates in California is coming out of Basra. The American import all the dead palms to be there in planted.
Look forward to come and taste it.
Don't worry, come there, we'll give you tons of.
Well, it is an open invitation for all of you. Welcome you in Iraq, anywhere.
Thank you.
Welcome the President here, very nice to speak to you. I just want to comment on my colleagues on the British Iraqi University. We did a Delphi with Babylon, and the final meeting which was in Erbil, which we went to, the British Council promised us that it would be Delphi 3, which would be fully funded by the Iraqi government. We haven't heard anything. That has been about a year and a half ago. Yeah. It was a very good program.
Yeah, we shared in Delphi, by the way.
We were Mustafa Shawi.
Yeah, we shared with
Basra,
Delphi.
and the results are amazing because in Basra there's a science part coming out.
Yeah.
In Babylon we had the 2+2 coming out of the Delphi, so the results are very good.
And moreover, we shared in Delphi about education of diabetic patients.
Okay.
You know, education is mandatory for patients with diabetes.
Yes.
And even we published an article in one of the British journal about educating diabetic patients through SMS.
It does open the door.
It's very good. It was
good.
very useful, and we are looking for Delphi again.
We were looking forward to that, but the British Council promised us that they'd come back and for Delphi 3 they'll administer it, but it'll be funded by the Iraqi government. But nothing has happened, so I will come.
We'll speak with our minister about the funding.
Thank you.
الآلية اللي استخدمناها مع ريدينج حتى تصير الصورة واضحة للأخوة الجامعات البريطانية. صار لنا وقت طويل أخذنا لتداول الأفكار وخصصنا دكتور كريم موجود بالقاعة. دكتور كريم هناك هو منسق بين جامعة ديالا وريدينج، واستمر العمل ماله أعتقد لأكثر من سنة كاملة حتى ذللنا كل العقبات اللي موجودة. يلا بعدين وصلنا.
Professor Abbas would like to give some comments about the work with Reading University. They assigned a point of contact, Dr. Karim, who is in the hall with us today, and for over a year of communications and discussions and discussing the details of the MOU and what is the point of it and what are the benefits or what is going to be next in order to facilitate when the moment after the signature will be already planned, will be already planned, and then clear steps of what to do next, etc.
وكذلك جامعة غلاسكو زرتهم العام الماضي، وبعد غد سأذهب لتوقيع الاتفاقية، بما معناه أنه أخذنا سنة كاملة من أجل أن نصل إلى إزالة كل الإجراءات الروتينية اللي ممكن يعني تعيق تنفيذ البرنامج.
And also the same thing happened with Glasgow University. Mr. President, he visited Glasgow University last year. It was initial discussions, and it took him also a year almost to discuss all the points, all the directions of the collaboration.
وأيضا يوجد منسق مع جامعة غلاسكو هو الدكتور عباس مهدي.
And we have another single point of contact for Glasgow University, Mr. Abbas Mahdi. Thank you. Any more questions? Yes, please.
My name is Joe Doherty, International Director from the University of Portsmouth. I've got a long connection with Iraq. In fact, 20 years ago, I went on my first British Council posting to Baghdad, where I was British Council Assistant Director for 3 years. I'm just conscious that in this room, there is a great deal of goodwill and there are representatives of very many institutions, and I'm just really focusing on the practical part of how we go away from this meeting knowing who was here, what are their contacts, and how to move to the next stage of dialogue beyond today.
We carry our cards with us. If you are interested, we can give you the card. But I think the cultural attache is supposed to have all the emails and all the contact informations about all the Iraqi university. So simply by contacting the cultural attache, they can provide you with all the details. But I have my card with me if you are willing. I can give one for you. Provided that you give me yours also.
It's a very good point you made, Professor, from Portsmouth University, regarding what's next after this meeting. The Iraqi Cultural Attache, as Professor Thamer mentioned, that we are going to be the mediator between this communication between yourself and the Iraqi universities. So whenever the link is missing, then we'll be there, our office, to make the communication faster and effective. Any more questions?
So everybody agree on having a committee which is combined 3 from the presidents of Iraqi University and 3 from your side, and they are supposed to have meeting every 3 months or 6 months to see the depth of the relation and how much the relations come into existence. Is that okay to everybody? Because if it's okay to you, we have to suggest this to our Minister.
I think if the attaché organizes that or coordinates that, at least come to the cultural attaché in London.
Yeah, of course, the cultural attaché is part of it.
So they know who we are and they can choose whoever they want to be in that committee.
Okay, that will be great. And from our side...
We'll have a fight from here who's going to be in that committee.
Oh, is it? That's very pleasing to me. Yeah, that's fine to hear it. Because we are seriously willing, honestly. We as Iraqi University are seriously willing to have a relation with you. And honestly, we are very pleased if you shake hands with us. That's it. I don't think there is anybody in the Iraqi side who is reluctant or hesitant to have some cultural relations with the British universities, for so many reasons.
I wonder if you have in your universities centers like what we have in my university, some of them dealing with cancer treatment and research, another dealing with blood sugar treatment, diabetes, and some other dealing with computer sciences and so on. Because one of us, one of our group, is the manager of that, the head of that center, one of the centers, who are dealing with, as I said, with cancer treatment and research. Is there any centers like that in universities at all?
You have
low-grade cancer, yes.
I mean, is the center separate from the universities, or it is part of the universities?
It depends on the funding source, but usually there is a degree of separation, but part of the university.
Yeah, but the centers in Iraq are always related or connected.
They tend to hear, yes.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance. And we'll have also extra time now to discuss maybe in private with some presidents on the coffee or tea after this. Thank you very much. We appreciate your help.
Thank you.